Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Ultra League showcasing another very powerful team featuring Poliwrath. The newly buffed Poliwrath, courtesy of its community day. We all know it's got counter now, which makes it vastly improved. And we are running it in the back on this team here, along with Giratina on the safe swap. Giratina's here to draw out any potential Charmers, maybe a Pidgeot. Clearing the way for Poliwrath to put in some work and close the game strong. Giratina, a very strong and solid safe swap option, along with Alolan Sandslash on the lead to protect our back two Pokemon from potential Charmers and Flyers to an extent, more so for Poliwrath. Sandslash, a very versatile, very strong, much improved option to run in the Ultra League on the lead. Poliwrath, very much improved in the Ultra League. I was super excited to give it a try here after the calm day, and here we go. Positive lead, Dragonite. They make a play into a Golisopod, so I decide to load up on some energy and bank a ton of energy on our A-Slash and then make the play into Giratina here. We did allow this thing to get a little bit too far ahead on energy. Maybe one less Shadow Claw would have been better for us. I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw nonetheless. They go for the Liquidation, and these Shadow Claws from them they're putting in some work, although we do hard wall their charge move pool. They go for another Liquidation, get the defense drop, and now the Shadow Claws from this Golisopod will really start to add up. Going for this Dragon Claw, kind of wishing I had Ancient Power at this point. I elected to go with the awful move known as Shadow Sneak, and now they will be able to force a shield off of us here. It is the X-Scissor, and honestly with the defense, even with the defense drop, I'm not sure if that would have KO'd. Going for this Dragon Claw, and they give up both shields. We're not willing to go that far. They're not getting both of our shields. They can have switch. That's okay. Giratina put in enough work here to allow Sandslash to come in and finish off this Golisopod here. Getting shields down on a Dragonite trainer can be quite valuable, as it is a shadow and it is quite squishy. Going for this, saying bye-bye to the Golisopod. And they've got a Poliwrath of their own in the back, so what we're going to do is chip this thing and put the hope and faith into our own Poliwrath up a shield to perhaps make something happen here for us. They bring back in that Dragonite, and we've got the Ice Punch here locked and loaded. This thing has no shields, and we're saying bye-bye to the Dragonite, and they have their Poliwrath left. No shields. We have the health advantage here because we did chip with our A-Slash. Gonna shield this up just in case they were running Dynamic Punch. That could have been quite catastrophic for us, but they are running the conventional moveset, it seems, going for a Scald of our own. And there's a decent amount of resisted damage. And as we can see, if they had Dynamic Punch, they would have thrown it there. They do not have it, and we will get this counter down. Poliwrath coming in super clutch, putting the team on its back to close strong. Good game, well played to them. Counter was proving to be a massive improvement for Poliwrath. I had a lot of fun and a lot of success with it. Not with a lead like this. This is an awful lead, Virizion. And we make a play into our Giratina, and they've got a Walrein in the back, so that is awful. Holy smokes. Nightmare lead and a Nightmare counter swap, but let's see what we can do here. Not running Ancient Power, that seemed to have come back to bite us more often than not. I think it really comes down to what team you're running. But we do tank a Shadow Icicle Spear here, and we're going to fire right back with a Dragon Claw here. And not sure if they'll want to try and go for an aggressive farm down. If they do, they're going to have to take a Dragon Claw in the process. They don't want to go for that farm down. They are happy just to get rid of our Giratina. And gonna come back, or actually what we're gonna do here is come in with Poliwrath and get ahead on energy. Not able to flip switch, so might as well rip off the Band-Aid and at least come out of here with some loaded energy. They're gonna go for the Icicle Spear, and we're gonna counter down. So now we need this to be double ice. It's not double ice. That is awful. I was hoping like heck that it was a double ice line, perhaps with an Aurorus in the back, but this is the worst case scenario. They've got a Charizard. The Scald does big damage, And normally I would let this go, but we are basically within Leaf Blade range. Just about. Not quite, but just about. And yeah, this is not trending in the right direction. Had it been double ice, we would have had a shot here. But yeah, they just had an answer. Every way that we turned, whatever we had, they had the answer for it. So yeah, it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. So yeah, this one, RPS, pretty brutal, but hey, that's just something you cannot escape in Pokemon Go Battle League. As sure as the sun will rise, you will certainly be hit with a hard counter RPS team, but good game well played to them. Oh, the RPS phenomenon struck again in that last one, but we press on. Here we go, picking up another Dragonite lead. This is beautiful for our Sandslash. They're staying in a little bit. I was thinking maybe they would want a superpower and dip, but no, they were looking to set up a catch. We even overfarmed by one and they still caught. Good on them for that. That is okay. Jellicent save swap. I was wondering what to do here. That's a tricky save swap for this team to handle, but definitely very, very much doable. Gonna chip this thing here. And I wanted to soak a move, but it looks like they are just mindlessly tapping, as most Jellicent trainers do. They wanted to go all the way up to 100, so we catch. It's a Shadow Ball, but we do tank that quite comfortably, as Giratina is about as bulky as it gets. We don't tank 2, however, so we will have to give up a shield here. And as long as we can keep one shield in that A-Slash on the Dragonite, I think we'll do okay here. As Dragonite trainers, Dragonite leads usually like to run a Steel type in the back, so that's looking great for our Poliwrath. They do come back in with the Dragonite, speaking of, and we're going to fire off a Dragon Claw, evening up the shields. They do get the farm down, and that is okay. We've got energy stored on our A-Slash here. Going to fire one Shadow Claw and then the move. And if they don't want to get one shot, they will shield this. They usually do, and they do. So we now have shields down. I figured, you know what? We're up a shield. Let's let this go. They do superpower, which means that they're going to have to give us switch. I'm thinking there's a Steel type in the back. They're loading up some energy. Tried to catch, I believe, a Ice Punch onto a Charizard. So it's not a Steel type in the back. It's a Charizard, but it does not matter. We're doing big damage with that Scald. And we get the attack drop, which is brilliant for us. That means that these wing attacks are doing less damage, of course. We let this Blast Burn go, as we did get that attack drop, and all we needed to do was preserve health and that shield and a move, and we did all three. Poliwrath putting in the work yet again, taking over yet another game. Holy smokes, you absolutely love to see it. We get to this Ice Punch, and we're saying bye-bye to the Dragonite yet again. Poliwrath doing its job on this team, and that is close the game strong. Good game, well played. Oh, counter worked wonders. I think Poliwrath is definitely meta now in the Ultra League with counter, courtesy of the community day. Here we go, Charizard lead. Oh, it's always a game of chicken with these Charizard trainers. We're going to try our best here, going for the Ice Punch. They shield pretty early. They definitely tank that. So we're going to actually catch this Blast Burn, or what could be a Blast Burn, onto our Dragon-type Giratina. You love to see it. Catching that resisted damage. Did quite a bit because it is a Shadow and it does have Stab. I don't think we want to tank a Shadow Dragon Claw from this thing, so we will shield this up, evening up the shields. And they bank a little bit of energy and make a play into a Jellicent. We are ahead on energy here. Going to go for the Shadow Sneak. This is where Shadow Sneak comes in handy up against opposing ghost types like Jellicent. And I'm going to let this go. We don't want to give them an early shield advantage here. And Shadow Ball does KO, and that is okay. We can come back in with our A-Slash. And the super effective Shadow Claws are absolutely shredding the Jellicent. Going to throw with proper timing on 7. And because this isn't a Shadow, I'm not sure that this will KO the Jellicent. It hangs on by a thread. Holy smokes. Jellicent, too thick. My goodness, it hung on. We're going to let this go. We don't know what else they have in the back. It's a Swampert. So, okay, this is looking pretty good. Poliwrath can do quite all right up against Swampert here. Going to just chip this thing. Poliwrath is where the win condition lies at this point. We're just going to stay in and force them to throw. We don't want them overloading too much. We wanted to either threaten that final shield, force them to throw, or do some big damage. So they do throw. We're coming. All we've got left is Poliwrath up against the remainder of this team here. I was calculating. I definitely think a Shadow Earthquake is the hardest hitting move left in the game. So that is a good shield there. And they've got that Charizard left. Gonna look to bait. It looks like they stopped attacking there for a moment. Not sure what's going on with them. But they do shield, so maybe they didn't, or they did. I don't know what they are doing. They stopped attacking here. They're definitely still in this, but they let that go, so now it is all over for them. And then they start attacking with the Swampert. So I don't know if they kind of lost motivation, gave up, or had some lag. I'm not sure, but good game, well played to them. Yeah, I decided to build the XL Poliwrath. I think that bulk really comes in clutch in the Ultra League, and here we go. Sandslash, mirror matchup, not a Shadow, just as we are not a Shadow, but we do lose CMP tie, which is unfortunate for us. We do tank a Drill Run, so gonna let this go. And they were baiting, holy smokes, that works out for us. We were happy to tank the damage either way, but we're not baiting here. We're firing back with a Drill Run. Grab a shield, so that's beautiful. So now what I think we'll do is... I don't remember if we shield this or not. I think we do shield. This has to be the Drill Run here. And I think we're going to look to either grab that final shield or do some massive damage on this opposing Sandslash here. They let that go. And now what we'll look to do is catch this on the Poliwrath. I really don't know what they could have lurking in the back here. Could be a flyer. I hope it's not a flyer. It is a flyer, but probably the best one of the best flyers for us to see here. It's a Mandibuzz running Snarl. The reason why is because they take neutral damage from our counter fast move pressure, and we are resisting this Snarl fast move pressure, and they can only go for aerial aces, which are that's an awful move. So gonna go for the Ice Punch here. It does about as much as a Scald does. So I do believe we live another awful aerial ace here. And what we're going to look to do is just go for the Scald debuff here. We're only getting the one move. Might as well try for a debuff on our way out. No such luck there, and they do get the resisted Snarl down. That is okay. Poliwrath put in the work on this very tanky Mandibuzz here. We had some energy stored because we caught their move, saving ours, going for this Ice Punch, and grabbing a shield from the Mandibuzz. My goodness, what do they have in the back? At this point, I'm thinking perhaps it's a second flyer. So they wanted to get that energy off or grab our final shield, and they throw in the low health Sandslash to get farmed down. What is in the back? Holy smokes. And then they bring back in the low health Mandibuzz. At this point, I'm thinking there's absolutely something like a Pidgeot or something, but no, it was a Tapu Fini. Maybe they just didn't quite know what to do with our Alolan Sandslash or our Poliwrath. But I think if you have a Tapu Fini in the back and your opponent presents you with a Poliwrath, I think you definitely bring that in. So now shields are down, but we've got this Tapu Fini down to about 50% health. They go for that Moonblast. It hurts, but we tank it like a champ, and we're going to go for this Shadow Sneak here. We just need damage on this thing. Damage and pressure is the name of the game here in this endgame, which is why we're going for the double resisted Dragon Claw. We want to put pressure on them. These Shadow Claws are hitting for neutral, and they're adding up, and going for that Dragon Claw was the play. Forces them to throw under the pressure. We survive. They go down. Giratina left standing in the end to close strong. You absolutely love to see it. Good game, well played to them. Oh, I woke up this morning. I knew I wanted to run Poliwrath. I just happened to throw this team together, and my goodness, did it put in the work. Here we go. Walrein lead. We do quite all right up against Walrein here. I don't think we'll shield this because Walrein leads generally have at least a Charizard in the back and a Swampert. That's the most common, accessible community day team, if you will. I'm not sure what else to call that, but it's a very commonly used accessible team, let's just say. We do tank an Earthquake, by the way, as we see there. And we're going to fire back with a Drill Run here. We get this Walrein quite low. They're going to have to throw another Earthquake to take us out here. Icicle Spear is not going to do the trick. It is double resisted with our Ice Steel typing, and we will make it to another drill run here and either threaten the win lead or pressure a shield and grab an early shield advantage here. They go for wanting to win lead. That is a-okay with us, and they go for an insanely aggressive farm down on our A-Slash. So we come in with Poliwrath to counter down. I don't think I want to tank an Earthquake, so we will shield this, although we do tank it quite comfortably. If there is a Charizard, they will likely bring it in. It's a Cresselia, so I wanted to be healthy enough for a Charizard. That's why we shielded that. Turns out it's not what we thought, but there could still be a Charizard. They may just have Cresselia in the place of Swampert. Why they would do that, I don't know, because that makes the team extremely weak to Steel, but here we are. We do tank a Grass Knot. Poliwrath, quite thick, guys, quite tanky, especially as an XL, but we don't want to tank another Grass Knot just in case there's a Charizard in the bag, so we catch that on our Giratina. You love to see it, and there is a Charizard. It's usually a safe bet to read that there's a Charizard in the bag on any given Ultra League team. That is just the nature of the meta right now, and we were spot on with our team read. So gonna go for this Dragon Claw here. Another instance where I found myself really wanting Ancient Power, but I decided to go with the traditional conventional moveset here. So we are forced just to go for these Dragon Claws. And we get to them at the same time. We are slightly ahead by a turn, and they're going to go for a Dragon Claw here. We need to stay healthy for that Cresselia, so we're going to throw one and catch the next Dragon Claw back onto our Poliwrath. We've got to tap dance a little bit around this one, guys. Shields are down on our end. That Cresselia is so healthy, but we've got loaded energy. An attack drop with this Scald would be really nice right about now, but we don't get that. That is okay. If they want to try and farm down, they are going to have to tank some damage or give up a shield. They do survive this, but they do have to be cautious of our Giratina. And we did trigger the CMP there, and they do let that go. So I think we're going to be okay here, even though they are still holding on to that shield for dear life. We've got tons of energy stored. I'm thinking back-to-back Dragon Claw should do the trick here on this Cresselia. They snuck through a Cycle Cut, which means that this is now the CMP tie. And Cresselia, that bulk, there's a trade-off, which means that you lose a lot of CMP ties. And we say bye-bye to the Crest, and we Shadow Claw down the Zard as the game clock starts to count down. My goodness, that one came down to the wire. Good game, well played to them. Oh, like I said, I knew I wanted to run Poliwrath the day after Calm Day. I didn't know what to run it with. We landed on this, and holy smokes, did it pay off. A-Slash was picking up some really nice leads. We are looking at an Aurorus here. They're staying in on this Nightmare lead, which generally means that they're ABA weak. There's no other reason to do this. They do tank our drill run, and we're going to let their potential Meteor Beam go as well. Hits us for neutral damage, but we do survive quite comfortably. And they are still staying in. It's hard to swap out after getting that guaranteed attack boost. So we know that. We're going to fire off this drill run and look to deny them this energy, but they shield. Oh, they are putting up a fight here. They are at another potential Meteor Beam. This is a dominant lead, so we might as well go for it. They're forcing shields with double resisted baits. You hate to see it, but what you love to see is KOing an Aurorus and winning lead. That's exactly what we do. And they've got a Poly of their own. Not quite the Poliwrath that we're running, but the other Poly that also had a Calm Day. They've got a freshly built, shiny Politoed fresh off of the community day, it seems. We're going to bring in our own Poly and see which one reigns supreme. Let's see it here. We do have the edge because we are running counter. It has stab and it's applying way more fast move pressure. We both hardwalled the charge moves and they catch. We were over farming for days and they still somehow catch. I think that's a bit of a lucky catch by them. Onto a Venusaur, they get the attack drop. We had a hard wall to this Venu. They see that and want no part of what they see. They do top left. Good game, well played to them. So if you're on the fence about your Poliwrath build, I'm here to let you know this thing is much improved, 100%. Here we go. Registeel lead, pretty good for us in all even shield scenarios. We don't win the zeros for obvious reasons, so what we're going to look to do is get off this early drill run, see what they want to do, see if they're willing to give up shields. They are. So that's generally a good indicator that they may be weak in the back to our A-Slash. So now we know what to do moving forward here. We, of course, shield up the potential Focus Blast, and as one would predict, it is the Zap Cannon bait. So now they do let through the debuff drill run, and what we're going to look to do is catch the next move onto Giratina. Whatever it is, it's going to be resisted with our unique Ghost Dragon typing. It's the double resisted Focus Blast. You'd love to see it. And I didn't realize this Dragonite here that they meet us with was running Dragon Tail, which is why we don't throw with proper timing. But now at this point, I do know. And what we elect to do may be slightly questionable, but this is based upon a hard team read. They met us with a Dragonite. They led with a Steel type. So now I'm reading that this is a double Dragon line, Steel double Dragon. And Alolan Sandslash does not need shields to handle a dragon in this meta. Unless it's a Dragonite, that's the one dragon that can put in some work. Or maybe one of the ground dragons like Flygon. But generally, most dragons it will do just fine against. Which is why we're going to throw our Poliwrath in here to absorb this damage. And go for a counter down. And our team read was spot on. It was Steel double Dragon. They had a Shadow Dragonite and a Giratina in the back. So just going to chip with that resisted Ice Punch. And now A-Slash is free to roam free and wreak havoc. This thing is going to put in work here. It will have no problem up against this Giratina. They can throw whatever they want. It's not going to help them. Even up a shield. We did grab a shield because we had a move banked. And now we will need a couple of Ice Punches to take out this Giratina. We do have to be careful of a potential catch. That Registeel is still in play in the back, hanging on by a thread. We have to be a little bit careful here. This is just a Shadow Sneak. We tank that no problem, and they cannot farm down. There's the Registeel there. That Giratina's energy dry, which is why we're okay. We could have gone for a little bit of extra farm to further cement this matchup, but it will not be needed as we will get to this Ice Punch and win a potential CMP tied to a Dragon Claw. We say bye-bye to that Giratina, and Sandslash has taken over the game thanks to our accurate team read. We got that one done in the end. And that is the team, my friends. 5-0 with Poliwrath on this team here. Like I said, I threw this team together. Since then, in between editing here, I do realize a couple of fellow content creators ran similar teams with A-Slash on the lead and Shadow Claw coverage in the back. There's a Poliwrath in the back on one of the teams. I guess great minds just think alike. It made perfect sense to pair Poliwrath with A-Slash. I had no idea. So yeah, great minds think alike. We landed on this team. We've got a Giratina along with our Poliwrath in the back. A-Slash up front protects those two from Pidgeot mostly, as well as the Charmers. And the other two in the back will handle most of the fighters and dark types in the meta, making for a very solid, well-rounded, balanced team to really put in some work. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.